Hi, it's time for another episode of Nick's Nerd Network, and I'm Nick. We are going to talk today about one of my favorite shows that I most recently watched, and that is Daria. So let's get started. So if you're a cynic or a sass master, or you like to think and comment on the world in a different way than your friends, or you just really love sassy, zany one-liners, then this is the show for you. I really love this show. It's delivered, even though it's a show that's from the early 2000s, it aired on MTV, I believe, and it's just timeless. Like, even though it is aged well, like, the topics they talk about, it's things that we all face and we notice about the world today, and characters like Daria notice those things and point them out, whether people are paying attention to her or not. And I will say the animation of this show isn't the greatest, but it's well overshadowed by the depths of the show. So even though the animation's not great, so what? Who cares? So it's pretty easy to summarize this show. Daria is a really intelligent young lady, or a young woman, and this show's actually a spin-off. She's a spin-off character from Beavis and Butthead. She gets her own show. The show's a little bit more deep than that. It's still funny. The animation's arguably better. But she's really, really intelligent, more intelligent than a lot of the people around her, and she sees the world in an entirely different way. She's constantly making commentary about the people around her, or doing dumb things, or maybe being hypocritical, or not really understanding her jokes. So she's really mastered shade. And it's just, everything she says is so intelligent and funny, and it just really cracks me up. She kind of poses this, casual observer. So the show, it is about her, but it's more about how she feels about the people around her. So she's really, narrating in her own head what these people are doing, how they're acting, and just kind of as if she was someone intelligent narrating a documentary about people. It's so funny, and she has kind of this misunderstood vibe. A lot of her classmates don't really get her. She's kind of this misfit, and people grow to like her as time goes on, and they kind of start to soften up her rough edges, I would say. This show means a lot to me because I know what it's like to be one of those misunderstood people. In high school, I didn't really fit in. I had a few close friends, but a lot of my interests weren't shared by the people that I grew up with, so it was difficult to make friends. It was difficult to find people to share hobbies and such with, so it made it difficult to fit in. And Daria is that person. She's interested in reading and thinking about philosophy, and her best friend's an artist, and she thinks at such a high level, but at the same time, she's not perfect. There's a lot of skill sets she doesn't have, like being social. She's not as great at reading other people's emotions. Sometimes she's so overly cynical or holds people to too high of a standard, and that can be a little bit rough, especially when she's trying to meet new people and develop as a person. Now, as the show goes on, she softens up a little bit. She learns to appreciate and how to communicate better with her classmates, her teachers, and her family, and she develops a better understanding of them. Even though she still is an intelligent individual, she sees why they are the way that they are, and they start to see her more as a friend, and they start to respect her a little bit more as she softens up a little bit. So one of my favorite characters in the show is Daria's sister Quinn. Quinn is a really cool character because she's really that vapid popular girl that you see all the time, but you really kind of get a deeper understanding for why she is the way that she is. For a very long time in the series, you just think, ugh, she's the opposite of Daria. Daria and her don't get along very well. But the thing about Quinn is you kind of see the sad side of her popularity. You see how her and her friends, like the fashion club, they are always they're not talking about anything really in depth. They're talking about fashion and clothes and boys, and they all secretly dislike each other to some extent, and they're kind of mean to each other. They have this very Mean Girls vibe before the show Mean Girls was there. I actually wonder if maybe they were a little bit inspired from them, the four girls. And surprisingly, Daria sees Quinn as this really unintelligent person, but in terms of her and her friend group, she is the intelligent one. She kind of helps keep things calm, helps keep things settled, tries not to make any disagreements, or tries not to keep them from fighting. And she's also very popular around boys. She doesn't really think much about how they feel. She just wants to be popular. She wants boys to like her, and they kind of follow her around. But you really do see her develop as the series goes on. And you see her start to realize the parts of her friendships with these girls that do make her a little bit vain and a little bit self-centered. Does she completely turn around? No, but she does learn, and her and Daria get a little bit closer in the process. Another character I like is Mr. O'Neill, or Timothy O'Neill. He's Daria's English teacher. And what I really love about him is you can tell he's that teacher that watched a lot of teacher documentaries or teacher inspirational TV shows. And he wants so bad to be that teacher that helps inspires young people, and he's really looking for that satisfaction out of his job. And he kind of attaches onto Daria because he's the English teacher, she's an aspiring writer, and he really tries hard to make an effort with her. But he's so positive and he's so optimistic that doesn't really always mesh well with Daria, or not at all actually. And so he gets a lot of reality checks. I relate to this character because I actually used to be a teacher when I first graduated. I was so excited. And I did. I helped some students, and I truly believe that I made an impact on some people. But it is really hard because you don't feel like you're getting that validation or that like appreciation. And I see that in him where he's hitting a wall with some of these students, and he doesn't see why they don't care, and he keeps trying and he keeps caring. But sometimes it's with no real payoff at all. But I think he's a really interesting character. That's all I really had for this episode. It's a really great show. Watch it. Again, the animation's not the best, but honestly, I think even if you don't like the jokes, the voice acting itself is hilarious. I love that about the show. All the characters have really unique sounds. There's a character I like to do impressions of. Her name is Sandy. She's Quinn's frenemy. They pretend to be best friends, but she's really says shady things to her all the time. She sounds like, "Hello, Quinn." And I just really like her character. She's just, I don't know. She's intelligent, but she's still really, really, really self-centered. That's all I had for this episode. This is Nick signing off. Enjoy Daria. See ya. Bye.
Hi, if you like this episode of Nickster Network, please like and subscribe, or visit our new channel. And when you're on the new channel, check out my new banner. That was made by my friend Jesse. Please check out his website. He's really talented, and I'll leave the link in the description. He's great for all of your graphic design needs.